Hey first graders, it's Miss Bale again, and we're going to read another book this week. So your teachers and I thought that since we started NTI reading some David Shannon books that we could end NTI reading one more David Shannon book. So this book that we haven't had a chance to read yet, that we're going to read today, is called Too Many Toys. And so you're going to notice in this book that David Shannon does a really good job with his pictures and his illustrations. And of course, I always want you to pay attention to the text that you notice and that you read, but I really want you to pay attention in this book to the details that David Shannon adds in his pictures, because there are going to be some pictures in this book that you're going to go, oh my goodness, look at all of that stuff going on in that picture. So pay attention to the details, because you're going to do something with adding details to a picture at the end. And I'll tell you more about that when we get done reading. Okay? So let's get started reading our book, Too Many Toys. Too Many Toys by David Shannon. Too many toys. Oh my goodness. I don't know about you all, but when I look at this picture, even just on the outside of it, there are so many different toys that he has added in this picture. And each toy, even if you look just at one toy, like look at the Humpty Dumpty that's sitting at the very top of our page. Even just the Humpty Dumpty has so many details in it. His eyes are different sizes. He's wearing that tie. His suit even has stripes on it, where David Shannon didn't even have to add that detail. He could have just kept it solid and not added the stripes. So take a look at this picture and you can already see all those details that he's adding to those illustrations. Spencer had too many toys. They covered the floor of his bedroom and piled up in his closet. They were stashed under his bed. They spilled down the stairs and into the living room. So before we go on to the next page, I want you to take a look at this very first page where he has added so many details with all of the toys that he has drawn. I mean, even the lamp, if you look at the lamp right there kind of in the middle of your page, even the lamp has little details on it, like a little face, and he looks kind of silly. If you look at the sports figure that's right there in the middle of the page, you can even see in his eyes that he added the eyelashes, those just little details that make the picture even more interesting. Even the piggy bank that he has down towards the bottom has those glasses on, which I wouldn't have even thought to put glasses on a piggy bank. So if you take a look, each one of these toys, he has added so many details, little lines here and there to make that picture even more interesting. So pay attention to that, because you're going to see a lot more of it as we read the rest of the story. He had big toys in the backyard and little toys in the bathtub. Sometimes Spencer played with nice, quiet wooden pull toys. Other times he played with noisy, crazy electronic toys. He had puzzles, board games, and talking books that fueled his mind, and loud, jumpy, frenzied video games that fried it. Spencer liked to make his toys into a parade that stretched from one corner of the house to the other and back again. There was an entire zoo of stuffed animals and a gigantic army of little action figures. So I'm going to stop again for a second, and I want you to just take in this picture. Again, he has so much going on, but even if you zoom in on one little piece of it, you can see that one little toy has so many details to it. If you look at the clown that's all the way to the side of our page, look at the face of that clown. I mean, he's got 3 eyes. He's made his face like 2 different patterns. Like he's got the black and white checkerboard on top, and then he's got the little wavy, colorful lines on the bottom. I mean, even that little detail of showing exactly what that face looks like just makes it so interesting. He even has, if you notice at the very bottom, there's even polka dots at the very bottom of that clown's chin. So take a look at this picture and think about, if you were to draw a toy of your own or a bunch of your toys, well, what kind of details could you add to your picture to really show what those toys look like? He had a fleet of planes, trains, and toy boats, and a convoy of miniature trucks and cars. So fleet and convoy just means like a group of. So you could say he had a group of planes, trains, and toy boats, and a group of miniature trucks and cars. So that's what those words mean. He also had lots and lots of musical instruments, art supplies, and alien spaceman weapons. So if we look at this page, I love all the detail that David Shannon put with all of the paint and all of the different art supplies that he had. I love that he even included, like you can see that he's walking on what looks like a big canvas, and he even put paint all over his feet. And he didn't just cover his whole foot with green, he made it look like there were paints. Like you can see the different splotches or blots of paint. So this is awesome. So if you were to draw a picture of maybe some art supplies that you have, this is a great picture to look back at. Everyone gave toys to Spencer. Of course, his mom and dad did. So did Grandma Bobo and Poppy and Granddaddy and Auntie Mim and Uncle Fred and Cousin Drew. And they gave him toys for every holiday, even the 4th of July and his birthday. He also got toys from all his friends on his birthday and on their birthdays too when he went to their parties. He got toys at the drive-thru with his kid burger, and at school for having lots of peace person points, and at the dentist and the doctor when he didn't squirm. So I'm going to let this picture stay up a little bit longer so you can really take a look at the detail that David Shannon put on all of these people's faces and their clothes. And you can even tell who they are just by what they're holding or what they're wearing. You can see the doctor in the back with his little thing on his head. You can see the chef that works at the restaurant because he's wearing a little chef's hat. You can see the doctor over to the side where he's holding that chart. You can see that thing on his head that tells you that he's some sort of doctor and he's wearing that lab coat. And even if you zoom in on their faces, like look at the older lady that has like the purple on and the pearl necklace at the front of our page. Look at all of the details that David Shannon added to her face. You can even see like right above her glasses, you can see the little eyebrows that he drew. And you can see her little smile and the little lips that he put on her. There are so many details on this page, so I'm going to leave it up just for a second so you can look at it. That's a lot of toys. And what I really like about this page is how he wrote the word toys with toys. You can even see at the very bottom, he used that's called a little jack, the little silver thing. It's part of a game. And he even used that for the period. So very creative. They were becoming a household hazard. Have you ever stepped on a Lego piece in your bare feet? Or a jack? Well, it really hurts, especially if you weigh as much as Spencer's dad. You can also trip on things like railroad tracks and race cars if you're carrying a load of laundry. One day, Spencer's mom had it up to here with all the toys. "Spencer!" she yelled on her way upstairs. "You have too many toys!" "That's impossible," thought Spencer. Then she said, "We're going to get rid of some of them." "That's a catastrophe. Pick out which toys you don't want," she ordered, "and put them in this box." "But I love them all," Spencer cried. "All right," his mother said, "I'll help you." She picked up an alien space ninja. "How about this one? You haven't played with this in years." "But I was just about to." "Spencer," his mother said, "it doesn't have a head." "I'm making him a new one," Spencer replied. "Fine," said Spencer's mother, "but this can definitely go." She put down the alien and picked up a filthy one-eared bunny. "Not Mr. Fluffers! Mom, how could you?" "Well, this one then," she said. "That's Mr. Fluffer's best friend." "This one?" "Mother, have you forgotten? Grandma Bobo gave me that on my 4th birthday, and I'll never be 4 again. Ever." "Oh, please, Spencer," said his mom, rolling her eyes. Don't be so dramatic. Okay, she said, you can keep that one, but I'm giving away this pig and the Johnny Choo Choo. Tell you what, countered Spencer, I'll let you have the pig, but I get Johnny Choo Choo. What are you, a lawyer now? Asked Spencer's mother. You can keep Johnny Choo Choo, but the cow goes in the box too. Deal? How about 2 Gitchy Goomies instead, said Spencer, and I'll throw in a little peeper of your choice. How about all of them go in the box or you don't watch TV for a week? Spencer decided it was in his best interest to agree. Deal. Finally, some toys in the box, sighed Spencer's mom. I had no idea this would be so much work. She plopped down on the floor next to an egg-shaped pirate that bellowed, Arr, avast you scurvy dog! Avast scurvy dog! Derby dog! Derby dog! Here's another one you can do without, she said. No problem, said Spencer. His mom nearly fell over. What? You're gonna give it up? Just like that? Sure, Spencer replied. That's Dad's. Which I think that's really funny. But I also want to point out that the little egg-shaped pirate, I love that David Shannon included that little detail of where he has a missing tooth and his little belt that goes across him. So many good details in every little piece that David Shannon drew. So Spencer and his mom went through every toy box and looked in every closet and under every bed until they had haggled and wrestled and argued over every toy in the entire house. Finally, they were finished, and his mom had a cup of hot tea and a short rest. I can only imagine why she needed a rest. I think she had to really work to get Spencer to get rid of some of his toys. But take again a look at this page, and if you need to, pause the video because, again, there's so many good details that you can see, even on the little rat, well, not little, the big rat, on the other side of the page. I love even the hairs coming out off the top of his head and on his nose. I think that's such a good detail. Then she went upstairs to begin loading the toys into the car. But instead of a nice, neat box of toys all ready to go, she saw a big, messy pile of toys all over the floor. Spencer, she screamed, what have you done? We had a deal. You were right, Mom, Spencer called from his bedroom. I do have too many toys, but we can't give away this box. It's the best toy ever. So what did he end up thinking was the best toy? Not all of the toys that he had bought. It was the box that he made into a toy, which is just so funny. But I love how even if you look at this last page, you can see even on the box, he's added so many details, and you can tell that he made it into a spaceship of some sort. So I love, love, love this book, and how many good key details are in each one of our pictures in this book, and it really makes the story really interesting. So you're going to go back to Seesaw, and you are actually going to draw a picture of, and it'll tell you on Seesaw, but you're going to draw a picture of all of your toys that you have. Now, you don't have to do all of them. You can pick a few, but what I really want you to do is to make sure that when you draw the toys, that you add lots and lots of detail and draw it exactly how it looks. So if you have a stuffed animal that's in the shape of a rat and it has little hairs coming off its nose, then draw the little hairs coming off his nose. If you have a clown face that has 2 different patterns on it, like we saw in our book, then draw it just like that. Add all of those details, because that is really what your teacher is going to be looking at this week, is can you add those details to your drawings? And then you're going to write a little bit about what you drew too, okay? I hope you enjoyed the story.